And it looks like we're almost ready to start. And we're off. Gamercal going into Sanctuary, finding a map for Skullwoods. Maps can definitely be a good thing to find early on in Keysanity.
Yeah, so the map is not a required item by any means, but there is some information involved. Alright, so I had seen gamercal before try the Houlihan route out, but it looks like he's not doing that today.
Yeah, and the Houlihan is, in case money is scarce, you can always do it later as well.
Well, unless you get, like, the flippers.
Yeah.
And no glove.
There's a few other ways to set it up as well.
I still want to figure out the way to get to Houlihan with the flippers and without the glove. I don't think it's ever been discovered yet. But we got quite a bit of money from the crab here. Looks like 5.
It's a good replacement for the Houlihan. So it was just a heart container on the lumberjack, so we might not see Aga 1 today. Unless
I'm glad
it's
you could
required
tell
for
what that was.
Dark World. I think it was a heart container, but we're gonna see it soon again.
Yeah. The top of Ridley's screen is a little cut off, so we might not, but yeah, we're good.
So it's interesting that both runners are deciding to do the exact same route early on. It's always interesting to see players who think alike play against each other.
All right. So gamercal will be picking up that map as well to Ice Palace. And we'll be heading down into Kakariko Village. Whoa.
Oh, and that's an excellent tree pull before the village as well.
Indeed. 16 bombs from a tree. You're going to feel good about that. That's what I'm saying. Ridley's going in an interesting direction.
Yeah, and unfortunately it didn't do the tree pull, so it's gonna hope to find some bombs here in the well. Some vanilla bombs maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Not so much, but quite a bit of money. We've also got the cane of Brian over there in the in Blind's hut.
Yeah, and we also found the flute in Blind's hut as well as the in the well.
And there's the best item in the game.
Yeah, both are your favorite items, the flute and the powder right away.
Mm-hmm. So I don't have anything new, but I might do something.
Yeah. So Ridley deciding to go down and buy some bombs. It makes sense. They have a lot of money already. Oh, and it looks like the shovel was in the Kakariko well as well.
I was unprepared. All right.
You're gonna have a second chance soon.
All right, we'll take care of that here in a second.
So early flutes, that's really nice to help with your movement in the game. That your routing becomes much easier to do basically anything in the light world. And it looks like Tower of Hera is a crystal today.
All right, we've got Hera Crystal.
And finding a small key to Hyrule Castle that could actually be important unless we don't find any gloves.
If you'll indulge me for a second. If you told me that you, in a minute or two, would already have flute, I'd be perplexed. But now that it is true, I wonder what they will do when the seed trolls again, right after this.
Beautiful. So gamercal checking the race game, not doing it blind, only finds free bombs on the race game, so deciding not to do it. Going to check this dig spot right away. One of the good routing decisions that happened to fall into his lap now when going from the north side. Finding another map, and it's for Thieves Town.
Indeed.
So we already have 3 maps, and what I like to see when finding maps is finding maps for pendants, because as soon as you know which 3 pendants are in the dungeons, then you know where all the crystals are.
Yeah, that makes your life a lot easier. So we did just find a pod key, and of course we found that Hyrule Castle small key earlier. The Hyrule Castle small key doesn't actually mean much, but it does mean that it seems that's a little more likely something could appear in sort of the basement of Escape.
Yeah, and if they happen to find the lamp, they will also have access to the whole area of Escape, the back section as well.
Yeah, one of those rare Dark of Escape access without the glove.
Who knows, maybe both gloves are in the Dark Escape.
Or, you know, one's on the pedestal or something. You know, to make your dream come true.
Oh, and another map from Mr. Meyer, so we might have a lot of knowledge as soon as they get into the Dark World.
We've got a high level of information coming from this seed.
Oh, and a bottle in Link's house, so they could have checked the sick kid right away, but... with that flute...
I mean, he's actually going to.
yeah, with the flute, it doesn't really make it worse, so... And it was just a little piece of love anyway, so...
So, I mean, you know, mini Moldorms are annoying. They never do what you want, and they're constantly bothering you. I'm pretty sure that does describe my mom. So your mom's cave does... No, I'm messing with you.
Is she also unpredictable?
Absolutely. Mom, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
Oh, go with the Kiner Burnout to take out the middle one. That's usually the most annoying one.
That seems like you're pretty much best strat to me.
Yeah, because you're pretty safe from the other ones if you're just throwing bombs. So in Mini Moldorm we have a small key for Skullwoods and a small key for Castle Tower.
Uh-oh.
Big key for Eastern. Interesting.
Wow.
Heart container and just an arrow upgrade. So that big key for Eastern, that's interesting, because that's usually one of those early dungeons that you dip. And if they happen to find bow, they could actually full clear it, even though it would be a sequence break.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm given the option to full clear a dungeon like that when I first get to it, I'm doing it.
Yeah, I would say that's a good decision. Shouldn't be too scared of sequence breaking. Just try to keep in mind what you sequence break so you don't get confused later on.
Now, gamercal is in fact skipping the Ice Rod Cave. Oh no, he's already been there. Yeah, I mixed up the two runners. gamercal went to Ice Rod Cave, but skipped Mini Moldorm Cave, which was the weirdest thing. But I think he just wanted more bombs.
Yeah, with this Moon Pearl and all the rupees they gathered so far, they could actually check everything in Sora's area with this sequence break.
Yep. The only thing they couldn't do is actually get what's on Zora's ledge.
Oh yeah, that's true, but at least they can check what it is. So Ridley deciding not to do fake flippers, going straight up to Death Mountain. Or maybe not. Deciding to go back, maybe doing the fake flippers anyway.
Interesting. So the cave just has 2 pieces of heart, but because he got one of them and it gave him a full heart container, that caused him to momentarily hold up a big heart, and that deactivates the water walking glitch. So he had to go back out and back in.
Yeah, so fortunately it's pretty easy to just reset it. Didn't see what was on the ledge, but Sora is giving out a red boomerang today.
Yeah, I didn't see what was on the ledge either. I mean, gamercal probably saw it.
Oh, and Ridley is a little bit too high to make that fake flipper.
Still too high. You're going to need to go at least 1 pixel lower. He's having trouble with that, so that's okay.
Yeah, with the flute you can easily just reset it down at the start.
I'm hoping for gamercal's sake that the stun drop is some amount of money so you can recoup some of that investment. So we've got Desert Palace as the green pendant.
Yeah, and we got a big key for Swamp, small key for Ice, and a Blue Mail. Blue Mail is really nice to have early on, before you get access to the Dark World.
So Ridley does go ahead and make the fake flipper call.
Yeah. And gamercal moving into Eastern. Looks like gamercal did check Mini Moldorm because has the big key for Eastern.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I'm saying is he went to Ice Rod Cave, skipping Mini Moldorm. Then he went back to Kak and got bombs, and then he went back to Mini Moldorm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And bombos, that's interesting. Nothing of importance so far, but it could definitely be important later on.
I mean, bombos, Ice Palace key, get a couple gloves, and some flippers. That's all I'm saying. Make a trip into Ice Palace.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Ice Palace is one of those 2 dungeons that actually are flipper locked, but you can sequence break the flippers to complete ice pellets anyway. And we got a blue boomerang as well. So let's see if Ridley decides to go into Eastern as well. It looks like it.
Yep. So I'm thinking gamercal should find the bow here, and then on the Armos just use that blue boomerang instead of the bow.
Could you actually defeat the Armos with the boomerang?
48 hits per statue.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like torture.
I have no idea how anyone discovered that, but I mean, you can have the boomerang real early on in the vanilla game, so I imagine somebody just tried it. Like, they ran out of arrows and they were just like, well, what am I going to do now?
Yeah, so I'm glad that you need the bow to get to Armos. Otherwise, that might have been required.
Interestingly enough, you can have in entrance shuffle, you can have things like the bow behind Ice Armos in Ganon's Tower. I mean, you can actually technically have that here.
Yeah.
If both
the pendants
log dungeons are pendants, yeah.
So gamercal is in a dark room. I'm guessing this is Old Man.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a little bit tricky without the sword, but the boomerang is actually quite helpful in here.
Yeah, that fall you heard him take, that actually is probably intentional to sort of signal when you've actually entered the second room.
Oh, and the gloves.
Oh wow! So the
gloves
gloves
are locked behind the lantern.
Right. So what we know for now is that the lamp will be in a place that does not require the Titan's mitts. But not necessarily the power glove, because the other glove could be available somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or
we have it.
Be right there.
So it's mirror locked though.
On Spectacle Rock. And they're the silver arrows.
Silver arrows, yeah, that's nice.
gamercal was actually considering skipping them. And I was like, wait a minute, what are you doing?
Yeah, gamercal might have thought that it was just an quiver upgrade first.